Levi Strauss & Company /Levi Strauss is a privately held American clothing company known worldwide for its Levi's brand of denim jeans. It was founded in 1853 when Levi Strauss came from Buttenheim, Bavaria, to San Francisco, California to open a West Coast branch of his brother's New York dry goods business. The company's corporate headquarters is located at Levi's Plaza in San Francisco. Organization, history: Levi Strauss started the business at the 90 Sacramento Street address in San Francisco with entrepreneur William Price. He next moved the location to 62 Sacramento Street, then 63 and 65 Sacramento Street. Jacob Davis, a Latvian Jewish immigrant, was a Reno, Nevada tailor who frequently purchased bolts of cloth made from denim from Levi Strauss & Company's wholesale house. After one of Davis' customers kept purchasing cloth to reinforce torn pants, he had an idea to use copper rivets to reinforce the points of strain, such as on the pocket corners and at the base of the button fly. Davis did not have the required money to purchase a patent, so he wrote to Strauss suggesting that they go into business together. After Levi accepted Jacob's offer, on May 20, 1873, the two men received U.S. Patent 139,121 from the United States Patent and Trademark Office. The patented rivet was later incorporated into the company's jean design and advertisements. Contrary to an advertising campaign suggesting that Levi Strauss sold his first jeans to gold miners during the California Gold Rush, the manufacturing of denim overalls only began in the 1870s. The company created their first pair of Levi's 501 jeans in the 1890s, a style that went on to become the world's best-selling item of clothing. Modern jeans began to appear in the 1920s, but sales were largely confined to the working people of the western United States, such as cowboys, lumberjacks, and railroad workers. Levi unregistered trademark S jeans apparently were first introduced to the East during the dude ranch craze of the 1930s, when vacationing Easterners returned home with tales of the hard-wearing pants with rivets. Another boost came in World War II, when blue jeans were declared an essential commodity and were sold only to people engaged in defense work. Between the 1950s and 1980s, Levi's jeans became popular among a wide range of youth subcultures, including greasers, mods, rockers, and hippies. Levi's popular shrink-to-fit 501s were sold in a unique sizing arrangement. The indicated size referred to the size of the jeans prior to shrinking, and the shrinkage was substantial. The company still produces these unshrunk, uniquely sized jeans, and they are still Levi's #1 selling product. Although popular lore holds that the original design remains unaltered, this is not the case. The crotch rivet and waist cinch were removed during World War II to conform to War Production Board requirements to conserve metal, and was not replaced after the war. Additionally, the back pocket rivets, which had been covered in denim since 1937, were removed completely in the 1950s due to complaints they scratched furniture. From a company with 15 salespeople, 2 plants, and almost no business east of the Mississippi in 1946, the organization grew in 30 years to include a sales force of more than 22,000, with 50 plants and offices in 35 countries. 1960s are 1980s. From the early 1960s through the mid-1970s, Levi Strauss experienced significant growth in its business as the more casual look of the 1960s and 1970s ushered in the blue jeans craze, and served as a catalyst for the brand. Levi's, under the leadership of Walter Haas, Peter Haas Sr., Paul Glasgow and George P. Simpkins Sr., expanded the firm's clothing line by adding new fashions and models, including stoned-wash jeans through the acquisition of Great Western Garment Company, GWG, a Canadian clothing manufacturer, acquired by Levi's. The acquisition led to the introduction of the modern stone-washing technique, still in use by Levi Strauss. Simpkins is credited with the company's record-paced expansion of its manufacturing capacity from 16 plants to more than 63 plants in the United States from 1964 to 1974 and 23 overseas. Levi's expansion under Simpkins was accomplished without a single unionized employee as a result of Levi's and the Haas family's strong stance on human rights and Simpkins' use of pay-for-performance manufacturing from the sewing machine operator level up. As a result, Levi's plants were perhaps the highest performing, best organized and cleanest textile facilities of their time. The Dockers brand, launched in 1986, which is sold largely through department store chains, helped the company grow through the mid-1990s, as denim sales began to fade. Dockers were introduced into Europe in 1996. Levi Strauss attempted to sell the Dockers division in 2004 to relieve part of the company's $2.6 billion outstanding debt. 1990s and later. By the 1990s, the brand was facing competition from other brands and cheaper products from overseas, and began accelerating the pace of its U.S. factory closures and its use of offshore subcontracting agreements. In 1991, Levi Strauss faced a scandal involving pants made in the Northern Mariana Islands, where some 3% of Levi's jeans sold annually with the Made in the USA label were shown to have been made by Chinese laborers under what the United States Department of Labor called slave-like conditions. Today, most Levi's jeans are made outside the U.S., though a few of the higher-end, more expensive styles are still made in the U.S., cited for sub-minimum wages, 7-day work weeks with 12-hour shifts, poor living conditions and other indignities. Tan Holdings Corporation, Levi Strauss Mariana subcontractor, paid what were then the largest fines in U.S. labor history, distributing more than $9 million in restitution to some 1,200 employees. Levi Strauss claimed no knowledge of the offenses, then severed ties to the Tan family and instituted labor reforms and inspection practices in its offshore facilities. The activist group ʻliːvaɪ Unida was formed following the January 1990 closure of a plant in San Antonio, Texas, in which 1,150 seamstresses, some of whom had worked for Levi Strauss for decades, saw their jobs exported to Costa Rica. During the mid and late 1990s, ʻliːvaɪ Unida picketed the Levi Strauss headquarters in San Francisco and staged hunger strikes and sit-ins in protest to the company's labor policies. The company took on multi-billion-dollar debt in February 1996 to help finance a series of leveraged stock buyouts among family members. Shares in Levi Strauss stock are not publicly traded. The firm is today owned almost entirely by indirect descendants and collateral relatives of Levi Strauss, whose 4 nephews inherited the San Francisco dry goods firm after their uncle's death in 1902. The corporation's bonds are traded publicly, as are shares of the company's Japanese affiliate, Levi Strauss Japan KK. In June 1996, the company offered to pay its workers an unusual dividend of up to $750 million in 6 years' time, having halted an employee stock plan at the time of the internal family buyout. However, the company failed to make cash flow targets, and no worker dividends were paid. In 2002, Levi Strauss began a close business collaboration with Walmart, producing a special line of signature jeans and other clothes for exclusive sale in Walmart stores until 2006. Levi Strauss signature jeans can now be purchased at several stores in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, India, Pakistan and Japan. According to the New York Times, Levi Strauss leads the apparel industry in trademark infringement cases, filing nearly 100 lawsuits against competitors since 2001. Most cases center on the alleged imitation of Levi's back pocket double arc stitching pattern, which Levi filed for trademark in 1978. Levi's has successfully sued Guess, Polo Ralph Lauren, Esprit Holdings, Zegna, Zemia's and Lucky Brand Jeans, among other companies. In 2002, the company closed its Valencia Street plant in San Francisco, which had opened the same year of the city's April 1906 earthquake. By the end of 2003, the closure of Levi's last U.S. factory in San Antonio ended 150 years of its jeans being made in the USA. By 2007, Levi Strauss was again said to be profitable after declining sales in 9 of the previous 10 years. Its total annual sales, of just over $4 billion, were $3 billion less than during its peak performance in the mid-1990s. After more than 2 decades of family ownership, rumors of a possible public stock offering were floated in the media in July 2007. In 2009, it was noted in the media for selling jeans on interest-free credit, due to the global recession. In 2010, the company partnered with Filson, an outdoor goods manufacturer in Seattle, to produce a high-end line of jackets and workwear. On May 8, 2013, the NFL San Francisco 49ers announced that Levi Strauss Co. had purchased the naming rights to their new stadium in Santa Clara, California. The naming rights deal calls for Levi's to pay $220.3 million to the city of Santa Clara and the 49ers over 20 years, with an option to extend the deal for another 5 years for around $75 million. Advertising. Levi's marketing has often made use of old recordings of popular music in television commercials, ranging from traditional pop to punk rock. Notable examples include Ben E. King, Percy Sledge, Eddie Cochran, Mark Bolan, Screamin' Jay Hawkins, The Clash, as well as lesser-known material, such as Falling Elevators, and The City Sleeps by MC 900 Feet. Jesus and Flat Beat, and Monday Massacre by Mr. Oizo. Many of these songs were re-released by their record labels as a tie-in with the ad campaigns, resulting in increased popularity and sales of the recordings and the creation of iconic visual associations with the music, such as the use of a topless male model wearing jeans underwater in the 1986 adverts featuring Wonderful World, and Mad About the Boy, and the puppet, Flat Eric, in the ads featuring music by Mr. Oizo. References. Further reading, Ford, Karen T. Levi Strauss, The Man Behind Blue Jeans. Ainlo Publishers. ISBN A0-7660-2249-8. Raff, Art. The Levi's Storia, Banstianuk. Levi Strauss, The Blue Jeans Man. Walker and Company. ISBN A0-8027-6795-8. Ed Cray. Levi's, The Shrink-to-Fit Business That Stretched to Cover the World. Boston, Houghton Mifflin Company. ISBN A0-395-26477-4. External links. Official site, corporate site, Levi's India, Levi Strauss Signature, Levi's sponsorship of Project Runway, Levi's 510 Super Skinny Jeans Review.